the wXw Unified World Wrestling Championship about to be defended on British soil.
Here comes a man, a champion, Dave Bradshaw, that you know very, very well indeed. Called a lot of this man's matches, but this is the first time that Axel Tischer walks into the Carnival.
Well, the show is called Carnival of Champions, and there have been few more dominant champions on the European wrestling scene than Axel Tischer since he returned to that scene after a very well documented spell with WWE. He is, of course, the wXw champion, also winning the World Championship over in the German Wrestling Federation, so he has dominated the German scene in particular since he has returned, and now looking to make a statement defending that wXw title here in Nottingham.
Well, Tischer won't want to head back to Germany without that precious prize. It clearly means the world to him, that wXw Unified World Championship, but what a challenge awaits Tischer here at the Carnival of Champions.
Not the axe, man.
Oh my word.
The man knows how to make an entrance, doesn't he?
Here he is, Joe Hendry. I know it's a trademark of this man to mock his opponents with those very creative entrances, but I do question the wisdom of poking the bear, so to speak, with Axel Tischer. Axel Tischer, a dangerous, dangerous man.
The answer, Joe Hendry, has been primed and waiting on an opportunity like this, Bradshaw. Imagine the headlines Hendry could make around the entire wrestling world by becoming the brand new wXw Unified World Champion. And listen, gold looks pretty damn good around that man's waist, trust me.
Joe Hendry, one of only a handful of competitors in the world, I would suggest, who has the ability, has that just sheer talent to get it done against Axel Tischer. We will see if he can as we head to the ring for our official ring announcements.
The following contest is for the wXw Unified World Wrestling Championship. Introducing first, to my left, from Edinburgh, Scotland, weighing in at 255 pounds, Joe the Answer Hendry. to my right, from Dresden, Germany, weighing in at 90 kilograms, he is your reigning and defending wXw Unified World Wrestling Champion, the German Berufsringkämpfer, Axel the Axeman Tischer.
What a fight this is going to be. Tischer and Hendry for the wXw Unified World Wrestling Championship.
And already before the bell has even sounded, a little bit of animosity because of that entrance from the answer, Joe Hendry, raising the ire of Axel Tischer. The champion, celebrated though he is, world-travelled though he may be, must be wary that Hendry isn't already inside his head.
Well, Axel Tischer may have a lot of things, but among them is a short fuse, and that fuse may have already become pretty close to expiring against Joe Hendry after that entrance, as you say. Referee checking, of course, that there are no illicit objects concealed on either man as Tischer hands over the championship. And Hendry, look at it, trying again to get in the head of Tischer.
This has been disrespect from minute one from Joe Hendry, and Tischer doesn't like it one bit.
Yeah, it's calculated though. It's calculated disrespect. Joe Hendry knows exactly what he is doing. I think he's identified that temper of Tischer as a potential weakness, and that is why Hendry is going overboard here to try and send Tischer overboard before we get started.
It would be a huge surprise when that bell sounds if Axel Tischer doesn't go right on the attack and throw some strikes, try and set the tone, the pace for this match early on.
Yeah, he thought about it, you can see it. He thought about charging straight into Tischer, but I think caution in the end won the day, and we've got a collar and elbow tie-up between these two as this championship match begins.
Well, that is why men like Axel Tischer are champions across the globe, and I am merely a commentator because I'd have been all sorts of fired up at Joe Hendry after all we've seen, but Tischer waiting to pick his spot.
Hendry, of course, such a great all-rounder. He is trained in amateur wrestling as well, represented Scotland at the Commonwealth Games. And we've seen it, he's put on a lot of body weight, he put on a lot of muscle in the past few months, become a real powerhouse to go with it.
Yeah, this is the best Joe Hendry we've ever seen, and that's saying something. Don't forget, this is a man who years ago took legends like Kurt Angle to their limits. There is nothing Joe Hendry can't achieve when he puts his mind to it. Will he become the new wXw Unified World Champion here tonight?
You know, beneath all the bravado, I think Joe Hendry is his own biggest critic. He's always challenging himself to go higher and further. And I think the pandemic over the last couple of years has frustrated him. He was part of Ring of Honor during that time, of course, but had limited opportunities to compete for them with all the travel restrictions. So Hendry, as hopefully restrictions ease in 2022, looking to make a point wherever he competes.
Oh, a nice reversal from Joe Hendry. A very well-known amateur background, of course, as you mentioned.
Yeah, he gets a 2 count there, and Axel Tischer is very well versed in the fundamentals of mat wrestling as well, but for those reasons, Joe Hendry is not going to be the kind of opponent where Tischer can get the upper hand in that environment, and I don't think that's something Tischer is used to.
No, and you look at the size of Hendry as well. That's a lot of man to hold down on the canvas if you're going for the mat game and some submissions. Joe Hendry has a reversal for almost everything.
He's got the hammerlock behind the arm here, behind the back here, excuse me, at the moment. And as Tischer gets the elbow to release himself, grabs a side headlock and a headlock takedown from the champion.
Nice takeover. And now, if you control the head, you control the body. And that's what Tischer's trying to do here.
Yeah, Tischer looking to wear down Joe Hendry, try and squeeze out some of that early enthusiasm, I guess we call it, that came from the entrance and from the bravado before the bell.
There's an erratic energy about Tischer as well. You saw that, not content just with the headlock takedown, but eyes darting around the ring. What do I do next? Always 1 or 2 steps ahead.
Hendry now, though, is going to try and send Tischer to the ropes and does so. Shoulder block, neither man goes down. Look at the glare between the two.
Yeah, look into the eyes of Hendry.
Hendry so intense, like he always is, such a competitor, and in the end it is Tischer who goes down, but he's straight back up to his feet. Drops down low, goes taken down again as Hendry is getting the upper hand in this exchange. Got him up on the shoulders. Hendry going to show some of that power that he's got now. The press slam sends Tischer down, and now Hendry takes Tischer over the top rope into the floor.
Joe Hendry has been busy training with some of the strongest men on the planet, and you're seeing the fruits of that labor right here at Wrestle Carnival. Axel Tischer almost wondering where he is right now.
I think Axel Tischer is starting to realize that this title defense is even more of a problem than maybe he anticipated. He's, in a way, it's kind of an away match for him. He's in the UK. He's against an opponent who this Wrestle Carnival crowd know much more than they know him. And he's finding that Joe Hendry has brought his A game today.
Yeah, and if it's a problem for Axel Tischer, well, Joe Hendry has the answer, so to speak. And that is becoming the new wXw Unified World Champion. But Tischer taking his time. I think you're right, Bradshaw. I think that Axel Tischer would have known a thing or two about Joe Hendry, but maybe didn't expect that power game from the answer.
Oh, I guarantee you Tischer's done his homework. Tischer is meticulous whenever he has a title defense. And he is, for the most part, despite what I said earlier about that short fuse, he is pretty methodical, pretty controlled until that fuse runs out. And that's what Hendry is trying to get out of Axel Tischer here.
Oh,
Drop
nice
toe hold,
block.
tried to send Hendry down onto the, I think, throat first onto the middle rope, but Hendry prevented it from happening. In the end, he gets taken down anyway.
And now Tischer on top, a little bit of ground and pound.
I think, yeah, the fact that this match is settling down a bit, I think suits Tischer. I think it suited Hendry for this to be unpredictable, for Tischer not to know what Hendry was going to do next. So for Tischer, this is more comfortable ground now.
And just so tenacious is the Axeman. It's why he's a champion in wXw. It's why he's here in Wrestle Carnival in the first place, where some of the best wrestlers from around the world congregate.
We've seen an increasing number of alliances with Wrestle Carnival and some of the best promotions worldwide. wXw, of course, a great example of that. And it would be a huge deal, of course, in terms of wXw if their championship were to change hands here on a Wrestle Carnival show. And it could happen.
Look at this, so just two stallions inside that ring. No mat wrestling right now. It's all about those strikes, the punches, the knees, the kicks. Brutality inside that ring.
Aggressive pin attempt. You saw him driving the forearm down into the face of Hendry there. Was Tischer straight back on him as well.
And I'm impressed by the way that Axel Tischer has grounded Joe Hendry here. You can see the face of the answer. Almost seeking answers right now, to be honest with you. Going to have to come up with something special to stay in this match.
I think this is not the way Hendry wanted this to go. You could tell from what it, oh my goodness, look at that. From what his strategy was at the opening there, that Hendry didn't want it to settle down this way as a 2 count and a kick out. Tischer saying it should be 3, but the referee, I think, had a perfectly good cadence on the count, and the match continues.
Again, excellent camera work, taking you right inside the ring. You saw the almost peaceful face of Axel Tischer after that frustration, mind you, and then the pain of Joe Hendry, a complete contrast.
Yeah, it really was an insight into that personality of Tischer I was talking about, but hang on, here comes a backslide from Hendry, and he got a 2 count from it. Hendry was just a second away there from becoming the wXw Unified World Champion. There's a high leg lariat from Axel Tischer. Tischer's got the right leg hooked to retain the title, but Hendry kicks out.
It's going to take a lot more than that. Even though agony is etched all over the face of Joe Hendry, it will take a lot more than that for Axel Tischer to keep the answer down.
And in your experience and in mine, this is where Hendry, I think, is most dangerous. When he has to dig deep, when he has to find that extra level to stay in the match, that is where Hendry's competitive side comes out. He will not be beaten. And Hendry, at the moment, if Tischer thinks he's got him, I would say Axel Tischer needs to think twice.
Absolutely. For all the mind games that Joe Hendry plays, the laughs that some of his entrances give wrestling audiences around the globe, he is one hell of a competitor and almost gets stronger the longer a match goes on.
Seeing it here, he fought back, or at least he was. In the end, though, an uppercut, and now Tischer again trying to wear him down. Tischer's going to go for the neck breaker and gets it. Will that be enough to knock the wind out of Joe Hendry as a lateral press? And that left shoulder just about came up off the canvas in time for Joe Hendry.
Well, here's the thing about Tischer. Did not get the job done there, so changes tactics. Goes right back on the offensive with this submission. Might rip Joe Hendry's head clean off those huge shoulders.
He would do it. Tischer would do it if that's what it took. He is ruthless enough to do it, and you have to be that ruthless if you're going to become the wXw Unified Champion, as Tischer has done. Tischer now, though, trying to, I think, put Joe Hendry to sleep. He's got a dragon sleeper with all his body weight on Joe Hendry. Hendry's going to need every ounce of that strength if he's going to stay in this, but he's collapsing to the canvas. I think there's trouble here for Joe Hendry.
Yeah, this could be it, Bradshaw. This could be it. All said and done. You see the hand of Joe Hendry. There's still life there, but for how? Whoa, wait a minute.
Here it is. Here it is. That second wind. I don't know where he gets it. Joe Hendry, but get it he does. And he drops Axel Tischer with a suplex.
That is just ungodly strength from Joe Hendry. When the chips were down, when all hope seemed lost, Hendry managed to dig deep and just find that little bit extra. And that's why he's still, born and bred winner.
Yeah, but hang on, Tischer is still first back to his feet. Axel Tischer with a chance to get back on top of Hendry. Hendry moved out of the way, hits the back elbow. It's a second back elbow on Axel Tischer.
Hendry starting to feel it, Dave.
Yeah, he's building up that head of steam. There's a cutter from Hendry. And now, Joe Hendry really is feeling it. Hendry with Tischer up on his back and plants him. Hendry goes for the cover to win the Unified World title, but no, Axel Tischer kicks out, and the richest prize in wXw remains in his possession for now.
Hendry starting to bust out some of that heavy artillery, and again, feeling it, the momentum swinging into the corner of the answer as these people come up behind him. Joe Hendry, can he do it here? Can he win that gold?
Tries to send Tischer to the ropes, but Tischer hooked his arm over the top rope. Now kick round the side of the head, caught Hendry right in the ear there. Bicycle kick from Tischer. Tischer will try to steal it quickly. He's got both legs tied up, but Hendry still able to power out.
Oh, that was close though. So close. And now the momentum swings back the other way. But for how long? That's what I'm asking. Back and forth these two men go. Huge championship match. The eyes of the wrestling world firmly trained on the Carnival of Champions here tonight.
And it is on a knife edge, is this title match. With Tischer shouting in the face of Joe Hendry. And now it's Tischer who's playing some mind games. He stamps on the fingers of the answer.
Joe Hendry just defiant. Just eyeballing Axel Tischer.
You heard Tischer shouting, "I'm the champion," as he hit him time and time again, but Hendry has still got back to his feet. Uppercut from Hendry. Strike back from Tischer. Blow for blow. Strike for strike. Middle of the ring here, Tischer and Hendry.
Something has to give. Oh.
Here's a flurry of uppercuts now, and it's Hendry who had to give in the end. Tischer goes to the ropes, but Hendry fights back immediately. Big lariat from Joe Hendry.
What a clothesline that was. Joe Hendry might finish this.
Hendry plants Axel Tischer. Joe Hendry, as you say, to make headlines around the world, but Tischer prevents it from happening.
So close and yet so far for Joe Hendry. He could see images of holding that wXw Unified World Championship dancing through his brain, and then Axel Tischer got the shoulder up. Wow.
What a start to the year that would be for Joe Hendry. It might still happen. It might not be salvation for Axel Tischer. That might just be a stay of execution that he managed to kick out. Look, dead weight here. This is real trouble for Axel Tischer.
Yeah, and Hendry asking the referee, make sure this man can continue. If not, hand me that belt.
Oh, hang on, there's a roll up. Roll up. Tischer's got his feet on the ropes. Tischer, obviously against the rules, and a sign of how much jeopardy Axel Tischer is in, that he had to try and take a shortcut there.
The referee saw it though, and from behind, Joe Hendry.
Oh, he's got him. Hendry's got him. Tischer rakes the eyes. German suplex with a bridge from nowhere from Tischer, and Tischer retains the Unified World Championship.
Your winner and still your wXw Unified World Wrestling Champion, Axel Tischer.
I will say this, Axel Tischer, normally a consummate sportsman, the fact he had to put his foot on the ropes, the fact he had to rake the eyes, as I said, shows you just how much trouble the title reign of Axel Tischer was in against Joe Hendry until those final 3 seconds.
Well, the longer this match went on, you could tell that Tischer knew his championship reign was under huge threat from the answer. Joe Hendry, to your point, Bradshaw, had to resort to questionable tactics. But in the end, all that matters for the Axeman is that he still holds that wXw Unified World Championship.
Axel Tischer will go back to Dresden, back to Germany, with his most prized possession still in his possession. The wXw Unified World Wrestling Champion had to use maybe questionable tactics, but he came, he saw, and the Axeman conquered here in Nottingham. Great deal of respect here for Joe Hendry from this crowd at Carnival of Champions. The answer will be back, and championship gold surely is in his near future.